Love finances the other F word and want to support the show? Become a patron by going to patreon.com/FTOFW. You'll get special features, a shout out on the air, and early releases. Or if you prefer, pick up some merchandise at financestheotherfword.com.
As fantastic a CFP as MelO is, and as wonderful an attorney as I am, please do note that anything said in our show are our opinions alone and are not meant to be taken as financial or legal advice.
Welcome to Finances, the Other F Word, a Gen Xer podcast for musicians and music lovers, where we discuss money and music without all the pretentious bullshit. Here are your hosts, Zoe Terry, attorney at large, and MelO, certified financial planner and author of Finances, the Other F Word. Listener discretion is advised.
Hey guys, welcome to Finances, the Other F Word. And today on the show, we are going to cover the very bizarre unfoldings of things that are going on right now between Kim and Kanye. Now, this show is not about social media, socialites, and all of this other type of stuff, but I think what is happening right now is speaking to a bigger issue as far as for women's issues. And it was something that I really wanted to address as far as some of the posts and the ways that he's been approaching the posts and the things that he said about Kim, the things that he said about Pete, and take it into a broader subject. And so that's what we will be talking about today. I have a little bit of a cold, so please forgive me. Also, I look a little bit like if you threw some lipstick on a pig right now, but I put on makeup for the first time.
I didn't.
So I'm sick and I put on makeup. Zoe is healthy and glowing, but still no makeup. So for those of you who don't know what's been going on, Kim Kardashian filed for divorce from Kanye or Ye last year in 2021. Kanye had a girlfriend named, what was her name? Julia something?
Julia Fox.
Julia Fox for like a month.
Yeah. But don't forget, he was dating other models and the like before that. So
oh yeah, so he's been running the gamut. He definitely hasn't kept his dick dry while him and Kim have been separated, so let's just call it what it is. All right. And Kim is currently engaged in a relationship, not engaged to be married, with Pete Davidson. My brain is a little toast right now. And I really don't understand the allure of this guy, but everybody says he has big dick energy. And I swear to God, now I want to see it.
I see the allure. I do. Yeah. Well, I think funny men are sexy anyway, but yeah, I get it. Mm-hmm.
Well, so I do think he's funny and I do think he's witty. And we're going to talk about a couple skits that are from the past that have recently come to light that Kanye and others in his circle are making such a big deal out of it. But we're going to have to circle back to Zoe's weird lust for Pete here in a minute. Because
I just choked on my own phlegm at that. There is no weird lust thing. I have to make that very clear, but I do get it, is all I'm saying.
Do you think about him when you have alone time?
Absolutely not. No.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll just have to believe her for now, but I call a little bit of bullshit. So what's been happening is that Kanye is fighting currently for his family. We just passed, we're recording this the week after, actually a week to the day after Valentine's Day.
Do you celebrate that, by the way?
Did I celebrate it?
Did you?
Did I do? No, I did none of the above.
Me neither. I think it's bullshit. But anyway, moving on.
Yeah, exactly. That's a whole nother show where we could talk about profit margins and the increase where guys feel obligated to take the girls out and girls feel obligated to put out because they spent, $90 on a dinner that should have cost $30, but whatever, right?
Neither of the above.
Yeah. So no and no. I didn't do any of that. So Kanye has been, Kim filed for divorce. He's been running out, getting his freak on with other people. She is currently in a relationship with Pete. They were married for about 7 years before she petitioned for divorce. But that's not what the story is, you guys. The story is that this motherfucker is losing his mind. And if he was a Joe Schmo off the street and not Kanye, people would be looking at him like he's a crazy ass motherfucking stalker. But we are somehow, because he's Kanye, allowing him to say insane and crazy shit. Now, and this is taking place on social media. Now, the thing is that we did a series on social media, and one of the ones I talked about was Twitter, and about Twitter's ban of Trump, who is, of course, releasing his new social media platform that, I don't know, did you read up much on it, Zoe? Truth?
No, no, I saw his face and that it was launching, and I kind of snorted to myself and sent it to you, and that was as far as I went.
Yeah, I read up on it. It's very interesting. It's basically Twitter. It's literally, it's designed the same way.
Trump's Twitter, basically.
Right. Instead of having a blue check mark, he has a red check mark. It literally looks exactly the fucking same. It's a fucking joke. But anyway.
Because he doesn't have an original thought in his head, but okay.
Yeah. So some of the things that, for those of you who haven't been following this, so Zoe tried to do some research on Kanye's Twitter feed, but he hasn't posted since
November 2020. His last posts that are up anyway were from when he voted in the election for the first time in his life, which is just shameful. But anyway, at least he voted, I guess. But except for, we all know who he voted for. Oh no, well, no, November 2020. Yeah,
so he would have voted. But so for those of you who don't, so I tried to do some research on Kanye and Instagram, because that's where most of his drama has been playing out. But he has since went in and deleted all of his posts off of Instagram, and now he only has, currently as of this recording, 2 pictures of his STEM device, which we may or may not get to. It's genius, and at the same time, it's could be very threatening if you look at it on a broader scale. But I mean, the man found a niche. I don't know about the price point, but good on him. So he's obviously not a stupid man. And of course,
and it's funny because he doesn't think he's a stupid man either, because the documentary that's coming out about him, I'm not sure if it has come out yet, but there's a 4.5-hour documentary about him called Genius, but spelt differently. So
stable genius?
Huh?
Is he a stable genius though? Because if he's not a stable genius, then,
well, it's spelt JEEN-YUHS, genius. But anyway, just saying, genius is a word that he probably quite likes to use about himself anyway. But
I am very sure on that. So the STEM player is genius spelled the correct way, but also has long-reaching potential ramifications, which can really be great for the music industry and really be fucking toxic. But let's focus on the crazy shit that he's going. So Zoe and I are both professional women, as I'm sure a lot of you who listen to this show. We actually have a demographic that's split pretty much down the middle between men and women. So dudes, thank you for hanging in. But, as being professional women, we have experienced a lot of stuff, and we have seen friends that have went through a lot of the harassing and things that Kanye is currently doing to Kim, but obviously he's doing it on a much larger scale. So he has went in and he has deleted all of his Instagram posts as of this recording. There's only 2 posts on there, 2 about his upcoming album, Donda, 2. And so luckily for us, because Kanye is so well loved, or a fucking nut job, you call it what side of the coin you want to be on, there is an IG account called Kanye Deleted, which screen grabs immediately of the crazy shit that he posts, so that even though the posts you can tell they're screen grabs, they don't look really clean, you get the essence of Kanye minus all of the millions of comments that people have listed. And so
that's just an idea for a money spinner there, a cologne, the essence of Kanye. Just an idea.
You better Google that shit. I bet you
smells like anger and ego.
Dude, we're going to talk about one of his, I'm glad you mentioned that. We're going to talk about one of his IG posts that I read that make no fucking sense. And I don't know if this is part of this man's genius with a J, or if he's literally unhinged. But let's talk about some of his posts. So there's an account, Kanye Deleted. You can go see the stuff that he's posted. So his most recent post before he deleted everything said that he says, I'm just going to read it to you. It's really quick. He said, I've learned that using all caps makes people feel like I'm screaming at them. I'm working on my communication. I can benefit from a team of creative professionals, organizers, mobilizers, and community leaders. Thank everybody for supporting me. I know sharing screenshots was jarring and came off as harassing Kim. I take accountability. I'm still learning in real time. I don't have all the answers. To be a good leader, you have to be able to be a good listener. So this is the last the last Instagram post before I believe he wiped everything. So let's go back to see what he's talking about. So on the Instagram post that he has numerous pictures of Kim still calling her his wife, which technically I guess they're not divorced, so it is his wife, saying varying different things. And so for listeners out there, dudes, you've had crazy partners, and girls, you've had crazy partners. So put yourself in the situation, and don't look at it as Kim and Kanye and overexposure and they're just both two, mega socialite people. No. Look at it as far as like you were in a relationship with somebody. You said, okay, this is no longer working for me. I'm going to divorce, or we need to separate, or I'm going to break up with you. And they're constantly posting pictures on their Instagram and on other social media platforms talking about you, and whether they're complimenting you or insulting you, because he did posts where he said that he had been trying to divorce Kim for years since she met with Meek Mills privately in a hotel room to discuss prison reform, alluding to the fact that she cheated on him with Meek Mills and going all kinds of crazy shit. Then he's posting pictures of her. She's so gorgeous. She's my wife, all this kind of crazy shit. So just think, as I'm reading through this stuff, think about if you were in a situation that was your ex significant other doing that shit when you guys did not work for whatever reason, right? You just did not work.
And when you've got, more importantly, you've got children, 4 children together, some of whom are old enough to access this.
We had an episode where we talked about this, where we talked about there was a person on social media using their child to drive social media followers. And Zoe and I had a very detailed discussion about it. So anyway, but getting back to this. So he's been posting multiple pictures of Kim, of course, pulled from Kim's IG stream and other social medias, of course, that she has. And then he's posting stuff. So this was his Super Bowl Instagram post. How great is it to be a free artist? I fought for my family. So he says this a lot, you guys. I fought for my family. First of all, I don't know in his mind if he thinks he's the hero in this story, and he thinks that Pete was the one who came in, or if he thinks he's fighting for Kim. How fucking uncomfortable and crazy and possessive and shit does that sound to you? Just that sentence alone that he repeats over and over and over through all his posts. And he's encouraged and people are cheering him on. Yeah, man, fight for your family. No, motherfucker, she petitioned for divorce from you. So this is the context where we're talking about this in this show. So he says, all caps, by the way. So how great is it to be a free artist? I fought for my family, trended over the Super Bowl while at the Super Bowl with my kids. Odell gave me my kids his gloves. Dre performed, Rams won. And I did a Super Bowl commercial with McDonald's. God has a plan. Okay, so this is going to be my own bone of contention. I'm going to get to in a minute because this is another thing he does in all of his posts. Today was awesome. Love over fear. That's his post. Okay. Then he grabbed tech shots of him and Kim's conversation, where Kim sent him a message through text saying, why can't you keep our conversations private? And he replies with some creepy bullshit, you guys, and then takes a screen grab of it. And his reply to her is this. Now, again, think Kanye as your ex, your crazy ass ex. Okay. His response to her was, because I got a text from my favorite person in the world, and I'm your number one fan. Why wouldn't I tell everyone? With 4 exclamation points. That sounds fucking crazy, stalkerish. He's grabbing their private conversations. He's putting it on social media. Then he's spinning it as, oh, I'm not being crazy. I'm her number one fan. I love her so much. Look at me. Everybody support me. And then he continues to go on constantly talking about supporting him and his family.
And was he fighting for his family when he was banging Julia Fox for a month? Was he fighting for his family when he was banging the other models? I mean, it's just, come on, why is it different? Because she's in a relationship that, it's all Pete's fault when he's been in several relationships. It just makes no sense. It makes no sense whatsoever.
No, it absolutely doesn't. And so then here comes another Instagram post that at the time it was taken screen grabbed had 40,989 likes, again, all in caps. And so remember the very first post I read you, we're going from most recent back. So he was apologizing for being all caps and that sharing screenshots of her could be jarring. So then he writes, dear page 6, but he doesn't spell it like deer. He spells it like a deer. Okay. So dear page 6, I love my family, which can I just say, I don't know why he does that, because I know this motherfucker knows how to spell deer, like in the context of him writing the letter. Like I understand, you know the difference between deer and deer. You know what I'm saying?
I think it actually has a lot to do with his mental health, and everyone knows, or most people know, that he was diagnosed with bipolar. And I think he's in the middle of manic episodes and he's just ranting. So he doesn't care whether he spells it right or not. He wants to get his fucked up point of view across because he's having an episode, is what I think. But
well, so there's some context to that, because let me read this. So dear page 6, I love my family. I love being at home with my kids. I'm not a bad man because I'm not a Democrat like 90% of Black celebs. I love my wife. I love my children. And I love God. I'm an artist and I need to paint my children's future. Dear page 6, I respect your profession, but I am coming to get my family back. This is not a tirade. It's a prayer. In Jesus' name, amen. There's so much wrong with that. First of all, I am coming to get my family back. If you broke up with a dude and he's like, I'm coming to get you back, no, bitch, I don't want you to get him back. So come get me back. So then, like with Valentine's Day, I was talking to Marianne about this situation. And Kanye had a truck with a bed of roses sent to Kim Kardashian. And Marianne goes, aw. And I'm like, no, that's not romantic, Marianne. That's fucking crazy. And she said, no, it is romantic if you take away the threats. And so and that was such a poignant point, because the acts in itself, when you look at them, you think, oh, he's trying to win his wife back. That's endearing. But when you take it in the context of all this other posturing and threatening of Pete and threatening of, he's going to come to get his family back, and all these people are trying to stop him from his family, that's when shit gets crazy and comfortable. And on the side of the truck, you guys, and I'm going to have some links in the show notes that you need to watch on YouTube, it says, my vision is crystal clear, with crystal and clear with a K and a K for Kim Kardashian. So he has screen grabbed that picture, and where it says my vision is, he put Kim Kardashian's name right over the top of crystal clear and tagged her in the post. And so the thing is that Entertainment Tonight, of course, is just a media hound, and they covered this happening of this truck going to Kim Kardashian's. And at no point did any of the hosts look at each other and go, wow, he should probably leave her the fuck alone. But nobody in Entertainment Tonight does that. And nobody in the media is doing that. And nobody's addressing it, that this motherfucker is like stalking her and that it's okay. And so then you have media like Entertainment Tonight glorifying his romantic gestures. And then you have other people weighing in through comments about how romantic he is, and oh yeah, man, fight for your family. People are posting things where it's like a picture of Kim laying in bed on her phone saying that I'm praying that Ye and Kim's dreams can flourish. No, those are his dreams. Those are not Kim's dreams. Maybe at some point she might get back together with him. God, for the sake of abusiveness, I hope she doesn't, but she might, and that will be on for her. So then he takes another screen grab of their text communications, and it's cut off. So the top of it is him saying, just the last 3 words are, of love, consideration to all my posts. And Kim replies, well, thank you. Then her next text says, there are dangerous people out there, and this is scary, and it doesn't have to be. And then this is her response to him. I will always do everything to protect you and our family forever. And I listened to you and told everyone to make sure nothing physical happens to Skeet, which is now his nickname for Pete. Again, Kanye is writing this narrative that he has to protect his family, when Kim is telling him, you're scaring me, you're making a very uncomfortable environment, and there's dangerous people out there. And his response is, don't worry, baby, I'm protecting you and our family. So then the post before this, when Kim had said, look, you're telling these people, to, if they see Pete out, to scream at him, KimYe forever, and all this kind of stuff, and you're threatening violence against him, please stop. You're creating a scary situation. His response is, oh, don't worry, baby, I'm going to protect you and our family. Then the post before that, or during the same time frame, he posts a picture from, I don't know where it's from, you guys. I wish it was. It looks like maybe it's from a movie where one dude has another dude in a headlock.
I think it's from a Marvel movie or something.
Okay, from a Marvel movie. Okay, yeah, I don't know shit about Marvel, but that's very possible because he also has a vendetta against Disney, which we'll get on here in a second. But he says, again, in all caps, upon my wife's request, please nobody do anything physical to Skeet. I'm going to handle this situation myself.
Yeah, he's still not. He's still making veiled threats.
What's it right? Thank you, Zoe. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. There is no situation. The situation you need to deal with is that you were in the middle of going through a divorce that your wife petitioned, and you need to figure out your way through it. But there's not a situation. The situation was
he created.
Yes, the situation was, it's a happen, bro. She filed for divorce from your ass. That is the situation. And so then we have people supporting Kanye coming through and talking about, that's what a real man does, fight for your family, Ye. And so we have all these people coming out and doing all of this crazy support of him and just egging him on. And then, of course, he's like, oh, man, thank you for the support. And Kevin Durant, liked one of his Instagram posts, and he's like, does this post. And what you'll find when you go through Kanye's Instagram post is that he uses the exact same tactics that Trump used.
Mm-hmm.
There is a complete method, a similar method to the way that Trump ran his social media, to the way that Kanye runs his social media, in the way that he calls out people who are supporting and loyal to him, then pins them in a corner so they can't ever go anywhere again if he starts acting crazy. So Kevin Durant liked one of his posts, and he writes this whole big post. Oh yeah, Kevin liked one of my posts, and I'm going to tell everybody today that, KD liked one of my posts. Thank you for the love and the support. And I'm like, okay, but he hit a button, bro. He's not sitting there like, yeah, Kanye, I think what you're doing is correct. But now what he's done is he has pinned Kevin Durant into that situation, which is what we have seen that Trump has done over and over and over again in his social media. We're two peas to a motherfucking pod, you guys, right? So then we're going to go through, there's not very many left, but I want to get to this. So this is around Valentine's Day. And so I'll just have to read this, but I'm going to read this to you. Actually, I'm not going to read the whole thing to you because it's stupid. He just goes to say, he goes to this big all caps rant. And then he says, so to the people and to the press, sometimes people call me crazy, but to be in love is to be crazy about something. And I'm crazy about my family. Happy Valentine's Day. So then here we're going to talk a little bit about the Disney connection. We're going to talk a little bit more about the Trump connection. And then we're going to talk about his feud with Soulja Boy and how Soulja Boy and his feud is actually egging this entire thing on as well. So the Disney thing, this is one, and this is why I think that Zoe has a valid point about him having a manic episode, because a normal person, even on social media, just doesn't write crazy shit like this. So I'm going to read this to you verbatim. So first of all, he calls out Bob, and we believe it's Bob Iger. I don't know if it's Egger or whatever, but he was the previous CEO of Disney. And we've talked about Disney Monopoly multiple millions of times on here. And, they took Star Wars and all of the different brands. Go back and listen to that episode that they have, it's truly shocking. So he put a meme up, but the meme was cut off because, again, he deleted all these things. It was a screen grab, but this is the text he wrote. He said, Disney owns Hulu. Disney wants to influence a wider age group. Disney assigned the actor Skeet to serve in some bigger narrative, quote, but for some reason refused to give a stylist, end quote, quotation marks. I wrote that last part intentionally to be funny. I joke while expressing my side, just like SNL, which is also gang with Disney. Bob bought Marvel and Disney to gain more influence in the teenage market. Ellen and Hillary been whispering in Kim's ear for years. Pete been wearing fake Trump hats to ridicule me for not being in my black place as a voter and throwing shots at me about mental health. He's a pawn. I'm not crazy. I wouldn't have had such a big impact on culture for the past 20 years if I was this, this is the real narrative. Everyone else is afraid, but Nas that they played with my family, it's up.
So much to unpack.
Yes. So let me talk on the Trump hat and I want you to talk on the Disney thing. So Pete had a skit after Kanye went on SNL and performed, and Kanye went on a rant about Trump, and Pete left the stage because he was embarrassed. Well, then the following week on the Weekend Update, Pete addressed what had happened with Kanye, and he basically said, look, man, you telling everybody this is the real me and you're not on your pills. He's like, maybe you should take your pills. He says, I take mine and they're great. And he puts at the very end of this, and we'll have that link in the show notes too. At the very end of it, he puts his hat on that says, make Kanye 2008 again.
2006.
2006 again. Thank you. And so that's what Kanye is referring to when he talks about wearing fake MAGA hats. And then the whole Disney tie-in is fascinating to me. The Disney thing that he's referring to, I believe he's referring to a skit that when Kim Kardashian was on the show, by the way, they had a skit called Grown Ass Women in the Club. It's fucking hilarious. Kim Kardashian was in it. You got to fucking watch it. It's great. But anyway, so during her show on SNL, she was on a magic carpet and they were doing the whole Aladdin thing, and Pete was Aladdin and she was Jasmine and blah, blah, blah. And it was, about dick size and all this other kind of stuff. And so I believe that that's the narrative, besides the fact that Kanye seems to be really pissed off. And they think that Disney ruined Star Wars, which I don't know, he might have an argument there. But the thing is that, so he's calling out Bob from Disney, somehow wrapping Pete in this entire thing. And I don't know if he's referring to something I might not know about, but the only thing I can think of is the Aladdin skit. But I don't know what the Make Kanye 2006 thing is.
Well, because Pete was saying, make Kanye good again like he was in 2006. That's what he was referring to when he wasn't so off his rocker, is what that was referring to. And I can't even do that, so I'm just going to say Kanye as keeps implying or inferring, or not even implying, straight out saying that Pete has some kind of nefarious relationship and is the ex-boyfriend of Hillary Clinton, which is quite amusing as well.
But I hope that Hillary did get some of that Pete dick. I think she has it coming to her after that whole Monica Lewinsky thing and that shit that Bill pulled. I think that Hillary deserves a dick down by Pete.
Sure, I don't disagree. I don't disagree, but I'm just, Pete likes the ladies, but I think he might draw the line at Hillary.
I know, but his post about his Hillary Clinton tattoo, as a matter of fact, let me jump to that real quick because what's his face has a post about that. Of course, Kanye.
Of course he does. Yeah.
Yep.
Just shows part of the, he's all about conspiracy theories, isn't he? And that's I mean, of course, because if there was some kind of big conspiracy going on, you would put a tattoo of Hillary on your arm.
Right? How many followers? Okay, but for real, how many followers of Trump have QAnon tattoos? Probably fuck tons. Okay, but check this out. So he brings up Pete's post of he has a Hillary tattoo on his arm. Pete's post says, wanted to get at Hillary Clinton a Christmas gift, so I got a tattoo of my hero. Thanks for being such a badass and one of the strongest people in the universe, with a blue heart. That's what Pete says. Kanye took a screen grab of it, then wrote this, and he put in all caps, when I tag people, and this is a conspiracy theory thing that Zoe exactly just hit on. This is what Kanye says. When I tag people, I'm just putting together the web. There are a group of people who run media and the election. Thank God for free speech. So we have him again, everybody's, conspiracy after him. There's a thing with Mac
Miller.
Mac MelO, yes, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
In there, we're not going to go on that at Ariana Grande and, blah, blah, blah. We're not going to talk about that. This is going to be the last post that we're going to refer to, but I encourage you, if you're curious about this, go look at this. So then he says that, I'm just going to read the whole thing. So in regards to the Hillary tattoo on Pete's arm, Kanye puts on it, y'all seen that tattoo, but if I speak up, then I'm crazy. I told you not going to use that one no more. When a garbage man goes to work, he's going to smell like trash, but it's time to take the trash out the house.
Word.
So And this is, this is going to be the last. And then he, of course, takes a screen grab of a text message that Pete sends to him. And he's like, look, man, in a nutshell, I'm not trying to come between your new family. I hope I can meet him one day and we can all be cool. And of course, Kanye takes it as an affront that, no, you ain't never going to meet my kids and blah, 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 whatever. Well, guess what, motherfucker, if they stay together and you get joint custody, Kim can introduce him to your kids whenever the fuck she wants to, because that is what being a fucking parent, not being the center of the fucking universe, is. So this is the last thing I'm talking about. So thanks Shade Room for always showing love. Thank you for helping me to control my own narrative and not writing me off. When a team wins the Super Bowl, we don't comment on how sweaty they got or how much pain they suffered in that game. It's about taking home that trophy. So when I get on my gram, I'm not afraid to get sweaty or take a hit for my family. This is not a rant. This is called freedom of speech. I am a form of media. Bezos bought the Wall Street Journal and will still never have the level of influence, no matter how many dinners he does with my wife and Skeeter. And Page Six, stop using bad photos of me, which I think is hilarious. Y'all, that whole office would die to go on a date. And so let me touch on one of the personal thing, and this is the connection to Trump that I saw that was so blaringly obvious. When Kanye West was at the Super Bowl, he was dropping crazy, mean posts, pictures of Pete Davidson, pictures of Kim, pictures of him and with his kids, just, not friendly, nice posts. And somebody had texted him and said, #1 trending, because Kanye at the time twined over the hashtag, twined over the Super Bowl. #1 trending, shifting that paradigm, inwards, got no idea, keep going OG. And Kanye's responses on the day of the Super Bowl, while on the way to the Super Bowl, God has a plan. And so through all of this, he thinks that that God has a plan because he's trending over the Super Bowl. And I know that Zoe is an atheist, but let me talk to you guys just real quick about the thing that bothers me the most about Kanye. The fact is that I am a believer in God and I pray a lot. And the fact that Kanye has the utter balls to evoke what he's doing is somehow sanctified by God, or that God has a plan for him, by being a hateful, stalking, off his fucking rocker asshole to Kim, and that people are like, yeah, God bless you and your family. As a Christian, I cannot explain to you how bad this fucking infuriates me. And there seems to be this belief that you can say the craziest shit you want to, and it's not only Kanye, and as long as you evoke God's name behind it, it's okay. And if there are other people out there who are seeing this crazy stalker bullshit that he's doing, and they're seeing the fact that if you are a believer in God, or even if you don't know, if you're agnostic or whatever, and you see this stuff happening, please don't support this. Please don't support this in any way, shape, or form. If you want to read about it because you want to be, know about it, whatever, that's fine. Please do not support this man, because this man is being a crazy stalker to a woman, and the United States is sitting around, and the globe, and applauding it in some way, shape, or form. And I'm not saying everybody's, loving what he's doing, but he's getting enough support out there that he is continuing this behavior. And this is some really scary stuff. And then the last thing I'm going to roll out with is Soulja Boy.
Can I just say what my biggest problem with Kanye West is?
Yeah.
My biggest problem with him is that I believe that he has a mental health problem, that he is bipolar, and he's probably off his meds, because he admits, and Kim admits, that he wouldn't take them because they affect his weight and they affect his creativity. So I think he's probably off his meds and he has a mental health problem. So my problem is less with him, although he's doing and saying some terrible things, and more with the people who are enabling him, and the people, and not getting him the help he needs, and the everyday people who are, like you said, supporting him and thinking that it's okay for him to be fighting for his family when he's doing no such thing. He is just harassing his soon-to-be ex-wife and her current partner, and having no thought for his children and his family that he claims to adore so much. That's my problem. with this situation.
And I agree with that 100%. I agree with that 100%. There's so many things wrong with it, but it gets lost up. Like when the Karen memes, you guys, we talked about this, where we talked about, it's funny, she has bad haircut. She's saying some crazy bullshit stuff, but the roots of that is a cloak for misogyny and a whole bunch of other stuff. And so when you see something like this, where you see that Kanye is posting crazy stuff and there's people out there supporting him, that's not cool, you guys. You don't know where this could lead, and hopefully it leads nowhere. And, if she decides to get back with him, God, I hope she doesn't, then that's on her. And if she decides to go through the divorce, which I hope she does, then good, that's on her too. But the thing that I found more frustrating, not disturbing, because at this point it's not really disturbing, it's frustrating, is Soulja Boy. So Kanye and Soulja Boy have beef, and then they said they don't have beef and they really love each other and they're just playing, but it's beef. Soulja Boy put on a video, I think it was on Instagram, basically laughing at Kanye and telling him that he was a joke because he lost his wife to Pete. Okay, Pete was not in the picture, y'all. She petitioned for divorce and separated, and now she's with Pete. So Soulja Boy is following the narrative that Kanye has made up. Oh, you lost your, you lost your wife. And it's on Instagram. Go watch it. You lost your wife to Pete, and laughed at Kanye about it and thought it was hilarious. And he said, you need to go back and get your bitch.
Oh, goodness.
And I understand that Soulja Boy was trying to diss Kanye. I get that part, and I get it's just shit talking. I get that part too. But that's another peer of Kanye, who is another successful musician, who is again basically validating what Kanye is doing. Yeah, you're a clown trying to clown me, and you lost your girl like she's a fucking possession. You lost your girl over here. You need to go back and get your bitch. Get your bitch. I was just, yeah. And the thing is, like, you guys, we're not crazy feminist thumpers, on here and stuff, but you guys, there is a lot of systemic stuff that's going on, and it's taking place in full view of the public. And I want you guys to be aware of this and what you choose to do with that information. Maybe you say, fuck it, Mel, you're taking it too serious. All right, whatever. Or maybe you listen to me for a half a second and go, I don't know, maybe that is kind of fucked up. And before you share, and before you like, and before you place encouraging comments, you put yourself in the position of Kim and a time that you've dealt, because I've had a crazy stalker ex, and you try to look at it for what it really is and take out all the key glamorousness of both of the figures. I guess that's what I want to leave you with, this message from this show.
Or put yourself in the position of Pete. If you can't put yourself in the position of Kim, put yourself in the position of Pete. He didn't, as far as we're aware, have anything to do with the breakup of their marriage. He's started dating this woman. He seems to be, from the text that dude himself screenshotted, saying, I'm not trying to be the new daddy to your kids. I'm, how you raise them is up to you two. Hopefully we can all be friends one day. And this, he's still being threatened and harassed. So put yourself in the position of either one, or put yourself in the position of the children who could be reading it, or could read it, or have other kids at school reading it for them. And it's not something they need to have any part of. It's difficult enough to be the children of divorce without having to have all this ridiculousness around it.
And the last tie into Trump I'm going to make before we sign off here, because we're running slightly long, is Kid Cudi. So Kid Cudi is a friend of Pete's, been a friend of Pete's forever and a day. He was supposed to appear on Donda 2, and Kanye gets pissed off, cuts him from the album, then talks shit about him because he's friends with Pete. And in one of his Instagram posts that I don't have snapshotted, he talks about how Kid Cudi, he cut him because he wasn't loyal. And this is another dangerous situation where if you have a woman who is trying, even if it's not an abusive situation, she just decided she wants to get a divorce. A woman can file for divorce just like a man can, right? And if you are in a situation where you are expecting loyalty, and again, think of Trump, you guys, you're demanding loyalty from people, 100% loyalty to you, that gets very dangerous, because then you can start having people try to prove their loyalty to you. And I want you guys to just understand that the things that are laying out are all connected. And this is a very dangerous situation, that as the viewing audience of this hot mess as it unfolds, we can't control their narrative between each other or what they post or what happens. We're not with Pete or Kim or Kanye, but we can stop the support of it. And as people, not as women, as people, look at it for what it is, that this man is stalking his fucking soon to be ex-wife, and he needs to leave her the fuck alone, and we shouldn't condone this activity. As always, you guys can follow us on social media. Finance is the other F word. Check out my book, Finance is the other F word, another F word to love. Follow Lily Lou Mittens on Instagram. Check out our YouTube channel. Twitch, we stream live, so you can pop in, ask us questions as we go, get your username on the air, stuff like that. And we appreciate you guys listening. And with that, we are out this bitch.
Cheerio.
Thanks for listening. If you like us, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.